my bond. And I'm one leader in this country who, if I say my word, and I think it has been tested over time, when I said in 2002, because the push that time was Mzee Moi, Bishop Tumwesing, you remember. Everybody said, Kalonzo, my friend Modavadi was vice president. No, he wasn't. Before he became vice president for 3 months, okay? And then there was Mzee Moi akaamua on the Mombasa Road. I remember in Chumvi, I said in 202, mimi sitingiziki. My word was my bond. As it was in 2002, so it shall remain into the next phase of this country's political economic development, so that we can end up with a nation we call a proud nation, a Kenya we can all feel we belong. And that is wonderful. Continue, Bishop, with your work. And so on Monday, even President Uhuru Kenyatta called me surprised. So he kasema hata Uhuru amebelieve hii maneno. Amebelieve hii maneno. I think the idea was to make Uhuru the convener of this new conversation. William Ruto ni mjanja kweli. Ataka kunasa kila mtu hapo. Amenasa Mudavadi, amenasa Weta, mimi sitanaswa. Asanteni sana. That's with a light note. Now, Senator, I think a few leaders may want to say one quick greeting. And that wonderful lady, gospel singer. Now, Ndengwa Njiro, I must tell you, when, how shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? And a version in Kikamba, to Kaina, wathi wao dhasio. Tueobe. Now, she is really talking to us. How can I, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, a friend of Jesus, because I'm who I am. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ unashamedly. A sinner saved by grace. Not even worthy to stand here before these senior bishops and proclaim that reality, because that's who I am. How can I, at a time when this nation needs liberation, how can I go and sing that song in State House? Now again, and so yesterday, President Ruto talked about a new vision. And I can tell you one thing. 1 year, because tomorrow is the 1st of August, 2026. The next August will be election August, precisely on the 10th of August. Therefore, it appears to me that national conversation William Ruto is talking about is out of step. Kenyans want to have conversation with William Ruto on the ballot box in August next year. And we have been talking about Vision 2030 that President Kibaki and us enunciated. To develop that national vision, my fellow citizens, you really need proper consultation, not one man's vision. Because one man's vision will start with We are a hustler nation. Then that gets forgotten after you go into office. We are Mama Mboga and others. Then you are saying we are going to Singapore. People have forgotten the route to Singapore. My brother, Dr. Oburu Odinga, says we shall go to Canaan via Singapore. They should listen to Dr. Masika, honestly. And then, which is the other one? Bottom up approach. All of that. Yeah, useful conversation. But I must actually tell you, as senior citizens, that I was privileged to have been asked by both William Ruto and the late Raila Odinga to have that national conversation. And we produced a national dialogue committee report, which actually the results of the same, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we presented to the late Raila Odinga, who was a co-convener. And we also gave at 5 o'clock a copy of that document. That is what has been circulating in the social media as having been in State House. That was in March last year, when we went to present that report to William Ruto. So even William Ruto's bloggers are not honest people. So I think honesty is also important for a nation to develop. All right? Because that has caused a lot of confusion. William Ruto and Raila Odinga, when Gen Z revolution happened, and by the way, you talked about the UK having been spared of the French Revolution and all that kind of happenings at the time. This nation is in that mood. But we pray to God it's going to be delivered in a manner that will not cause bloodshed, in a manner that is going to bring national unity, and the people of our Kalau have shown it is possible. It is possible. The IBC must take note. We saw the chairman saying, oh, no, there will be still live streaming. But that is his view as the chairman of Independent Elections and Boundaries Commission. There is a bill already in the Senate, Mheshimiwa Senator Kavindo. Already, there's a bill proposing to do away with that. So this particular chairman, Ethcon, who is a neighbor to West Pokot, okay, is from Turkana. And I tell you the story of Turkana. After visited Pokot, you should have proceeded to Turkana. But that's okay. You're going everywhere. He doesn't know that he can be overruled by the Senate. Of course, from there it must go to the National Assembly. We have no time to carry out. If it was not before these men and women of God, I would have used some unparliamentary language, like shenanigans. All right? We do not have that time. A country is now gearing itself to now birth what the young people did with their lives. They said we must have a country that is run transparently, that is rid of corruption. Because all of what we are seeing in this country, in many parts of the continent, is government that takes control, and then it is eating time. Now that's one of the reasons. That's when we're rescuing it as Wiper Patriotic Front. We've come up with that clarion call of ukombozi. Ukombozi ni rescue. Ukombozi ni occupation for good governance in this country. So I wanted to say that, and to say there's no time for national conversation. We had that national dialogue, but the next dialogue must surely be driven by the people themselves exercising their constitutional right to vote, and vote in a manner that will not end in miscarriage of justice by way of having the wrong winner being announced as a winner. This will not happen again in Kenya. I think that's a lesson of Kalau once again. Kwa hivyo tunasema asante. Asante sana. Kama